Are you ready to embark on a journey toward harmony and balance? Join us for our exciting new challenge, the 21 Days Living Balance Challenge on the Season of Self-Love podcast. As part of our monthly series, The Act of Balancing Life, this challenge will guide you through daily practices designed to help you harmonize your mind, body, and spirit. Whether you're juggling work, relationships, or self-care, we're here to support you every step of the way. Don't wait, sign up now to take part in this transformative experience starting October 1st. Together, we'll build a community of balance seekers ready to embrace joy and self-discovery. Visit our website or click the link in our bio to join the challenge today. Let's find our balance together.
And that's a disappointment when you fuck a guy for over an hour and he just go.
Did anybody recognize you from film in the industry? They did? Okay.
Okay.
Well, I just came in. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You are such an advocate. One thing is what I love is I love seeing a lot of the beautiful women that's in the industry as sex advocates.
And I would set up crystals on their body based off of their chakra. And the crystals, what they do is if they sit long enough, they begin to like permeate through the body. They begin to expand through the body and they create a grid.
I shot with John Q too. You know, John Q, you know, I'm the first big girl, but he did inside, you know, inside. Yeah. But that nigga,
I would, and I have given my last dime to people. I've given when I should have just watched. And it's not always about giving financially. It's giving your space and your time and your energy.
So that's kind of like a 50-50 answer, what I got. There wasn't really a yes or no answer.
So I think I actually would, and this is of course the therapist in me, I would be asking them, like, tell me how this is celibacy for you.
So what's first there, Amy?
I shoot them just like I would be shooting a regular human. So you don't put the emphasis on that, so it makes it more consistent with the title of being transgender.
I have a good friend. She lives here in Atlanta. I met her on a porn set. She wrote a book called From Porn to the Pulpit. Now, I won't say she was like this super... Yeah, she's my best friend. She's my best friend. Her name is Danielle Williams McCord. She wrote an amazing book called From Porn to the Pulpit. She's been preaching for 10 years now, but I met her on a porn set.
In any business that you find yourself in. Because definitely for me, like, you know, creating a product to push to the consumer, and for me, everything was consumer driven. If they didn't want it, I'm not going to make it because I knew it.
Felt like if we kept our head a little below the sagebrush, that we would just be able to keep on going without any interference or anything like that. But you know, that's
like, dude, I'm sitting in like the dressing room, like just with all the 20-year-olds and 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds. I'm like, how old are you? Oh, I'm 25. I'm like, how old are you? I'm 23. And I'm like, dude, I'm 30.
Before I leave the house, I feel like the last look. You know, this is how I feel, this is what I'm thinking, you know. Now, when I get out and interact with other people, it's going to be what it is.
Right, okay.
Welcome to a podcast like no other. Get ready for insightful conversations, diverse perspectives, and a touch of inspiration. This is Ask Naomi, Bridging the Gap podcast. Join your host, the dynamic Naomi Banks, as she delves into the heart of various topics with a refreshing blend of curiosity and wisdom. Each week, tune in as Naomi is joined by special guests who bring their unique stories and expertise to the table. It's a journey of discovery, learning, and growth. And let's not forget about the one and only dog pound Mike, adding his flavor and flair to the mix. Together, they make a dynamic duo you won't want to miss. From thought-provoking discussions to moments of laughter and joy, Ask Naomi. Bridging the Gap podcast offers a space where great topics meet amazing guests. So, mark your calendars, set your reminders, and prepare to be entertained and enlightened. Join Naomi Banks and Dog Pound Mike weekly for an unforgettable podcast experience. Get ready to bridge the gap, expand your horizons, and immerse yourself in the world of Ask Naomi. Subscribe now and stay tuned for a podcast journey like no other.
All right, my sexy people, it's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more while bridging the gap between them all and teaching the world on sex, love, language, and attitude. Well, today we are spicing things up in the kitchen. We really are, literally. We are diving into an art of connection. And our guest today is someone who knows how to blend love and food in the most beautiful way. And I am so excited to have her here with us today. And that's Krista Melanson. She's a relationship chef. And Krista is a Cordon Bleu Paris trained chef who has combined her love for food with relationship mentorship while helping couples strengthen their connections through creative and effortless date nights. So trust me, you will want to take notes on this one because she is sharing some golden tips today. But before we bring her to the stage, let's take a quick break. And then we come back, we're going to meet Chef Krista. All right, it's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Are you ready to embark on a journey toward harmony and balance? Join us for our exciting new challenge, the 21 Days Living Balance Challenge on the Season of Self-Love podcast. As part of our monthly series, The Act of Balancing Life, this challenge will guide you through daily practices designed to help you harmonize your mind, body, and spirit. Whether you're juggling work, relationships, or self-care, we're here to support you every step of the way. Don't wait, sign up now to take part in this transformative experience starting October 1st. Together, we'll build a community of balance, seekers ready to embrace joy and self-discovery. Visit our website or click the link in our bio to join the challenge today. Let's find our balance together.
All right, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. Today, we're talking about cooking it up with connection for effortless dating. You know, I didn't say, hey, my BTG crew. What's going on, Dog Pound Mike?
It's all good, all good.
You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Ready to get some tips?
Food and dates, yeah.
Do this remind you of the show we did a few years ago about the aphrodisiac and the food games?
So I need a recap.
You need a recap?
Because my budget is different.
All right, my beautiful people. Well, as you heard before, Miss Krista is a Cordon Bleu Paris chef, and she has combined not only her love for food, but also her connection of being a relationship mentor coach. So can we bring Miss Krista to the stage? Chef Krista, hi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I am so well. So as I said before, I am so excited to have you here with you. But can you do me a favor? Can you start by telling us a little about your journey from being a chef to becoming a relationship mentor? And how did cooking and the love come together for you?
Well, I went to school in Paris, and I love food is my passion. It always has been. I cooked with my mom from just a wee age, and it was a natural thing for me to go to cooking school. and I loved it, and it was really great. But at some point in my late 20s or early 30s, it occurred to me that if I wanted to have a family, I didn't want to be standing pregnant in the kitchen, lugging big pots and everything around. So I left the kitchen in favor of raising a family. And I went into sales. It was not exciting. But then I decided during COVID, when everybody was in lockdown and nobody was going anywhere doing anything, that there was a tremendous need for relationship counseling, and people were struggling with their relationships or struggling to find somebody if they were single. And so I went about taking courses and getting accredited as a relationship chef, or as a relationship coach, sorry. And it was great. I mean, I love working with people. Love is my other passion after food. And, but there was something missing. There was that element that was of me that was missing in my business.
Yeah.
And I actually had a coach said to me, she said, you need to bring the food into it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. And so I started thinking about that, and that's how the relationship chef came along, was me combining my two passions, which are love and food, to help people connect in their own way through food.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you say that, because what is that saying that they said about the food is to the heart of the soul, or something like that, to a man's belly, or something
The way to
like
a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah, through the stomach. For me, I am a big foodie. I love to eat.
Me too.
I love to eat. A few years ago, we kind of did a show on aphrodisiacs, and along with the show with the aphrodisiac, we was telling, we was kind of educating our listeners about what different foods do, or what part of their brain cells, what part of their bodies to help them turn them on. For you, I'm gonna ask you, because you are a chef as well as a relationship coach, what is one of the most common dishes that your couples, that they request from you, that might have a little bit of aphrodisiac in it?
Well, I'm not sure that it's an aphrodisiac that people are requesting so much as a romantic thing, right? And so most people seem to gravitate towards a pasta of some sort. And, maybe it's the Lady and the Tramp scene when they are eating the spaghetti and they come together and they kiss, or the whole, romance of Italy or whatever. But people tend to identify with pasta as being a very romantic meal, maybe because it's easy to eat too. There's not, you don't have to pick anything up with your fingers or whatever. But that's just something that people find is really good for setting the mood.
Okay. Now for setting the mood. Now, I heard you say that about the, with the spaghetti and the meatballs. Now, if you had a client or clients that was at home while you were doing online, what will be your ideal dish for them to start off with?
What I like to do is, first of all, I assume that the people who are going to participate in my services are foodies, right? So if you're a nuggets and French fry person, I'm not the right person to help you with your problems, unless you're willing to try other things. But normally what I like to do is I like to pick recipes that are not technically complicated, but maybe have quite a few steps, so that people can, it's not one and done in 20 minutes. You're making an evening out of it. And the whole idea is to be at home, right? So that you can have the intimacy of being at home. I always say clothing optional, but you should wear an apron. And, you can do what you want in the privacy of your own home. So I want to pick dishes that are, like I said, not technically complicated, but have a few steps, because I want people to learn a little bit about cooking, but I want them to maximize the amount of time that they're spending on this meal together, working as a team and finding that connection.
Okay, so thank you for that one. Now, I'm going to bring back aphrodisiac back up. And why I'm going to do that is because sometimes especially when you're trying to spice up your relationship, when it comes to, when it gets stress, everything comes. And so you need that extra help to do that. And especially with food, when we can use something that is so common and as I say, so PG to where it's more of an innocent thing that we can take it from. For you, what would be some practices that you will use? So, for instance, I love olives and oysters. Olives
Together?
and oysters. Whenever. Yeah, I can eat me a jar of olives and then I can eat a whole pig of oysters. But I know what that does for me. I know what it does for me, completely. Knowing that, saying that you get your 15-minute consultation or whatever to a couple, and you ask them, well, what is it that you need? What is it that you need from here, here? So for you, do you plan out a meal to make sure there is some kind of aphrodisiac in that, where it can still be on a romantic side? And why I say this, I am very, I love the chemical balance of food, the natural foods in the foods, as well as the spices, as well as your aroma and everything within your whole intake of your body, as well as setting the mood. So for you to make it a perfect date night for that client, what will be your thing for them to do?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I haven't really brought specifically any foods known to be aphrodisiacs into my meals, but thank you for that, because that's a really great idea to incorporate that thing. But I very much focus on, the senses involved with food are very much the senses in a relationship, right? Like smell and taste and touch. And I encourage people, I want them to touch each other during, while they're creating the meal, or feed each other, lick their finger or whatever. Have you ever seen the movie 9.5 Weeks?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this is what we're working towards, is that super hot scene with the food, the whipped cream and the honey. And it's just, I think that there's a huge potential for people to explore that.
Yes.
And bringing aphrodisiacs into it is a great idea to heighten it, whether it's oysters or chocolates or chili or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely, it's a very it can be a very sensual experience, and which is why I think it's such a natural to combine with relationships. And I actually have a friend who's a tantra expert, and she and I love talking about this and talking together about, and we do calls together and interviews and things and talk back and forth about it, because she is a whole lot more educated on the sexual side of it, and I'm the food person. So when we bring it together, it really makes a good combination.
Yeah. It's something that I wanted to do when I went and got my certification for relationship coach. That was one of the things that we had was aphrodisiac. And I remember seeing a short film within our class, within our course. And it was about this, it was a dinner that they had. And it was couples with the dinner, and they would, swap out with the different couples, but they would feed each other, more of a more sexual, romantic type of thing. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to host something like that. You understand? I would love to host something like that.
Absolutely.
So is that something that you will be down for, just say in the next year or so?
Absolutely.
It would. You want to do this?
Absolutely. It's so much fun to do this, in our world. Well, your world is maybe a little different than mine. My world tends to be a little more PG, not because I want it to be, but just because, if you're out there publicly, there's a lot of strange people out there. But I try to incorporate sort of the sexual and sensuous side of it to encourage people, maybe more through innuendo, because you're going to connect, you're going to have this meal, it's going to be wonderful, you're going to taste it, you're going to feel the explosion in your mouth, and then you don't know what's going to happen after that.
Yeah.
I did a podcast interview the other day with this lady who was a spiritual advisor, and I was really surprised because I made a comment, as I often do. I say, couples are in the kitchen, and I say clothing optional, and she was like, oh, well, okay. She was really taken aback. And I'm like, that's just something I want to encourage. That's half the fun of doing it at home, right?
Yeah.
You can go out to a restaurant and have an amazing meal with 100 of your best friends.
Right.
You have to be careful what you say, and you're certainly not going to grope each other on the table. But I really hope you will if you're in the kitchen cooking in the privacy of your own home together.
Right, right. You know, it's more like setting a more intimate, a small intimate gathering that, you know, possibly rent out I guess like a private kitchen or something like that. And then that's where, now don't nobody take my idea now.
I'm gone.
Right. But, you know, more of an intimate thing, because a lot of times a lot of couples don't know how to get over that unfamiliar with sexuality, a sexual language with each other. No matter if they were married for 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, sometimes it's hard for them to go to that next level with each other. And it doesn't always have to be raunchy. It can be a very sensual and sexy type of feel that you can do, you know, especially if it's something that we're teaching them to use everything that they have in the kitchen, that it could be a normal day, a lunch, and you can find things in your kitchen cabinet that can just sexually arouse you to be more romantic with your spouse or your lover or whatever like that. And those are some things that can be taught, you know, with this, you know, this whole, look, I'm already planning it in my head,
right?
This whole event. And so I want to ask my listeners right here, right now, BTG crew, if this is something that I was to offer next year myself, or as chef with Chef Krista or whatever chef, would it be something that you guys will be into? Coming to an event like that where we would teach you how to cook, you know, not only for a sexy and romantic date, but also that can help with pleasing yourself and your mate. Let us know in the comments right now, and we'll take a poll later on. So can we do this? Can we take a quick break? And then we're going to come back. Okay, Chef Krista, when we come back, I got some more questions for you. Then we're going to open up the lines and have some people call in and ask some questions. All right?
Fantastic.
All right, it's your girl, Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast, and we'll be right back. What are some common barriers that prevent people from expressing? Hey, it's your girl, Goddess Naomi Banks here from the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Yeah, I would say remorse. So shame and guilt is a very dividing emotional.
Now, these are one of the many amazing conversations that we have every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast with myself, Naomi Banks, as well as our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington of Washington Wellness Institute. Come by.
The reality of our relationships with people.
Come by.
And a lot of times we're afraid of how people look at us. And so that compassion can't enter.
You can hit us on the website, the Season of Self-Love podcast.com. With the truth.
Are you ready to embark on a journey toward harmony and balance? Join us for our exciting new challenge, the 21 Days Living Balance Challenge on the Season of Self-Love podcast, as part of our monthly series, The Act of Balancing Life. This challenge will guide you through daily practices designed to help you harmonize your mind, body, and spirit. Whether you're juggling work, relationships, or self-care, we're here to support you every step of the way. Don't wait, sign up now to take part in this transformative experience starting October 1st. Together, we'll build a community of balance, seekers ready to embrace joy and self-discovery. Visit our website or click the link in our bio to join the challenge today. Let's find our balance together.
All right, welcome back. I'm your girl, the Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. I'm here with Chef Krista. Today we are talking about cooking with connections. But before we get back into the topic, I want to share this. One of our friends of the podcast, she was actually last season, she was a guest on our show, Remy Martin, and she is doing the breast cancer walk that's happening on October. I want to make sure that I say this right. That's happening on October 5th. And right now she is taking donations. And I'm going to have Dog Pound Mike put the link up there as well. So if we can show our love, BTG crew, and just show the love for that charity right there. Again, that is Remy Martin. She is a friend of BTG crew of Ask Naomi right here, and she'll be working on the set. So she almost reached her goal. So yeah,
Check it out.
check it out. Check it out. All right, Chef Krista. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, so before the break, I was splitting on a little idea that I had, but I want to get back into what you do. What is it that you do? So I know we talk about the couples and being together. You know, those long dates, the dates nights, they can easily fall by the wayside. What are these moments so crucial for a relationship? Why are these moments so crucial for a relationship?
Well, I think people underestimate the power of being connected with your spouse, right? Because everybody says, well, you know, we love each other, we're fine. But fine isn't what you're looking for, because you want that love, that passion, that fire in your relationship. And when you feel that, you feel more connected to to your partner. You feel more supported, more loved, more visible to your partner.
Yeah.
And when you feel that way, it ripples out throughout the rest of your life. When you feel confident in your relationship, do you feel confident in your job or confident parenting your children? And the loving, passionate relationship just carries on through every part of your life. And when it becomes sort of disconnected, or dare I even say stale, you don't have that same boost of positivity and support that you have when you're connected. And so it's easy to feel unseen and feel maybe even like your partner is not committed to the spice in the relationship.
Right.
Everybody wants to feel as though their partner is committed to them specifically, not just the family or the home, but committed to them. And so there's so many different things, you know, couples who share more love and passion are more likely to work together in other areas, right? Whether that's celebrating milestones or managing difficult challenges. The more connected you are, the better you can work together as a team. So there's just so many benefits to keeping your relationship hot and connected and sexy.
Yeah, you know, I love that. You know, when I think back on my favorite date nights, it wasn't like the grand gestures that stood out for me. It was those more intimate moments like cooking dinner together, laughing, or just being present in the moment. It's a reminder that the connection doesn't need to be complicated. I can sit in a room and we can watch reality TV all day, or football or basketball. Just those intimate moments for me is I love, you know, to do. So also speaking on, if I want to ask our listeners, what's your favorite date night memory? And I'd love for you to share with us on social media as well as in the comments right now. And if you want to, Mike would put up a link for you can share in. So, you know, call in and let us know with Chef. But I had an idea while you were talking, and I don't know if it's something that you already do. When meeting with the couple and doing your discovery call or whatever, is it something that you do is possibly get what maybe their favorite foods is, or probably make a special dish for that couple alone? Like this dish will be called, just say their last name was Smith, say Smith spaghetti or something like that.
I could definitely do that. One of the phases in one of my programs is I encourage people to at least take one evening a week where they create their own meal and they see what ingredients they have, and they do something off script that's totally impromptu, that without a recipe. And I consult with them on that point. They may say, you know, we want to put these two together, and what do you think about this? And I help them sort of develop the recipe to create without a script, because that really encourages the teamwork too. So that's a similar idea, only I'm helping them to create their own recipe rather than me doing it for them.
Right. That's beautiful. So, okay. So let's talk about this. Something I know that a lot of couples that they struggle with, and that's making time for these moments. You know, we get caught up with work, the kids, demands of daily life. What are some of the most common obstacles that you see that prevent couples from spending this quality time together?
The two biggest ones I come across are, like you said, time. People say, oh, well, I don't have time for this. But it's so important to make time. And if you think about your schedule and you really look carefully, there's a lot of time leaks, right? You're
Mhm.
scrolling on your phone or you're watching Netflix. This time can be repurposed to something that's really going to have more impact. And the obstacle that I hear people say is that they don't like cooking with other people.
Mm-mm.
They want to be in their kitchen and they don't want to share their kitchen with anyone. I've been there. I get that. But trust me, it's something that can be worked with.
Yeah. I thought about saying, oh, I am so guilty of that. But if I know that this is supposed to be a time that we can be romantic and this, I will share the kitchen, but otherwise, don't come in my kitchen.
Well, and I agree with that 1,000,000%. And I think that the important thing is that when you're going to do this date night cooking, you're setting the intention to do it together, right? You're going in saying, hopefully you're not telling yourself, well, I guess I'll let them in the kitchen tonight. You're setting the intention. This is going to be a great evening and we're going to share it and we're going to figure out how to make the evening work together.
Yeah. Right. No, I love that. I just think about a time where there was no one coming in the kitchen. But then as time went on, he became my sous chef. So I got so used to that I was like, okay, I need you to cut the onions or the peppers for me. And he'll be on his side of the island, like there, and I'll be right there. And it worked so well. We did it for so many years that when he didn't do it anymore because he got so busy, I was like, oh my God, I miss my sushi.
Right? It's true. I mean, once you get used to having somebody in the kitchen, it's really lovely to have someone there by your side, right? And it's like I said, it's a touch here, a squeeze there, a kiss there. When my partner runs his hand down my back and squeezes my bum, these are all moments of not just physical proximity, but intimacy, right? And you're sort of leading up to the main event. And I've heard so many people say, when we share a really great meal, we almost always have sex after the great meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the satisfaction and the stimulation of all your senses, like we talked about earlier. And it really does it takes you to that place where it's like, this is the natural dessert that we're going to have after a fantastic meal.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's just about taking that first step, especially when when you're getting into the mood of it, when you're trying to learn something new. I know there are evenings when we get tired, when the couch seems to be so much more appealing than planning a date night. But once we get started, whether it's putting on some music, or as I said, chopping up some vegetables together, it shifts the energy. What tips do you have for couples who feel stuck? In that and want to nurture their relationship, but don't know how to?
Well, I mean, that's the whole idea with the cooking, right? Is to really share in this evening. And if you are allowing yourself to do it, you don't have to go into the meal saying, well, we're going to have sex when we're finished.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go into the meal saying, I want to do this with my partner and connect. And it flows. Like the creation of this meal and working together as a team brings this up. You cannot make dinner with somebody in a kitchen and not speak to them.
Right.
And it flows from there. And I always give them, conversation tips or conversation starters, questions to ask each other, to sort of get the flow going if they're having difficulty with that. And to break the ice, because it sounds funny, but even people who've been together for a long time sometimes need an icebreaker with something like this. And you don't want to slip into so did you get the mail today? And I went to the grocery store and I went to the hardware store. You don't want to slip into that. This is an evening between two people. And I really encourage people to look at it from that standpoint. And the conversation, the food, and there's always put this in your partner's mouth, let them taste it or let them lick it off your finger or whatever. There's these moments that I intersperse into it that encourage that physical intimacy as well. And it's up to them to allow it to grow from there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now I love, so I know with all that we said, it might seem like, oh, that's a lot of work. And the one thing that I promoted was like effortless date night. All right. So let's have a little fun. Effortless date night. All right. So Krista, now I know you got some amazing ideas because you just talk about the fingers in the mouth and stuff like that. So for efforts, like what are some of your go-to favorites for couples that are looking to reconnect?
You mean as in food?
Yes, as in food.
Well, I have my favorite dessert to put out there. Surprisingly, doesn't have chocolate in it. And I guess I should put chocolate in every dessert because chocolate's very much an aphrodisiac.
Yes.
It's just a very simple raspberry tart that people can cook without a lot of effort, but the taste has got that sweet and tartness of the raspberries, and it really does delight your taste buds. For main course, there's a really lovely chicken dish that I like to do. It's called poulet basquez. It's a traditional French dish with peppers and prosciutto ham and onions and tomatoes. And it's done in stages. You saute them and the aromas will just, they'll make your mouth water. And there's enough steps to that dish that people are spending a fair amount of time in the kitchen. And when I say effortless date nights, I mean, I'm doing all the planning for you, but the work to create the meal is really minimal because it's a labor of love, right? It's not work. It's fun. It's creating something you've never created and learning a new skill. So
we got some questions. I see a few questions that we have in the comments. Could we go to the comments in the questions?
Sure can. Jamar.
All right. You want to read it?
Sure can. Jamar asks, can the date night cooking help couples overcoming barriers in their relationships?
I think so. I think that there's really, again, they have to be open to it, right? If both partners are not open to it, nothing's going to work, no matter what you try. But if both partners are committed to rekindling that flame and reworking that, it's not going to happen in one night because Rome wasn't built in a day, but through a series of evenings together and different tasks, you know, talking about planning meals and talking about traditions and family events and things like that, it really gets the communication going around food. And then naturally, it just happens that you connect more, right? It's like meeting somebody in your office and you talk to them every day for a year. Eventually, you're going to be friends or you're not going to talk to them, right? And so food takes the awkwardness away because you're talking about the subject. And I give couples, you know, there's a series of events or tasks, if you will, to lead up to it. And that's how people, you know, a little bit at a time, they connect a little bit at a time. And then as the program goes on, next thing you know, they're really connecting more in the kitchen. So absolutely they can overcome barriers. But the number one main ingredient is that both people in the relationship have to be willing.
Right. Right. Do we have any more questions in the comments?
Yeah, just one more word. He asks, in what way do you say, Chef, that setting the right mood or tone helps infuse the cooking?
I think it makes a huge difference. So just the first thing I'll say on that is I have people say to me all the time, they say, you know what, I make this, not from my classes, but like friends and family, they'll say, I make this, but why does yours taste so much better? And cheeky, I'm always cheeky. And I say, well, it's because I put love in it. But it really is because I put love in it and I pay attention to what I'm doing. And so I think when you're cooking with your partner, you are infusing love in every single ingredient you put in there. Plus, you're going to have some sexy music and you're going to have the right lighting. And also something that I think is really important is making the effort to make it look nice, right? So you're going to have nice dishes out and have the table set beautifully with flowers or whatever. And you really are setting the mood in a variety of ways that contribute to the evening, right? So if you're there with your partner with the intention of connecting and you've got some sexy music on and you can smell the garlic and the onions sauteing It's an amazing setting for love and passion. And I think that you're right. You very much have to set the mood, both with the food and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a guest. You want to bring
Yes,
them on?
we do. You got a guess.
All right. So we do have a caller coming in. Hello, Walter. Hello. Are you going to speak or are you just going to stare?
Hi, Walter.
You have a comment or a question?
Okay, I think he's got a little technical difficulty.
All right. That's all right, Walter. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you. All right. So I'm gonna ask you something. And
Okay.
I love picnic for me is so romantic. What's
Definitely.
your ideal dishes to take out to have a successful picnic?
Well, chocolate dipped strawberries are a must. And usually they're a good enough size that you can feed them to your partner, which is always really nice. Champagne for sure, and some nice glasses. And I think that for a picnic, the easiest thing for me, and this is what I do when my partner and I do picnics, is just some sort of charcuterie board. Instead of having a complex meal with dishes and it's going to fall off the dishes or whatever, if you've got a charcuterie board that's got a variety of meats and cheeses and fruits that you can just sort of pick at, a little bit here and there, I think that makes just an amazing picnic. Super sexy. You have a nice blanket. And I've done this before lots of times, having a nice blanket spread out and you've got the basket and the champagne in a bucket and it just makes for a beautiful atmosphere. And it's funny you say this because I found on Amazon not long ago, this is not a plug, I have no affiliation to anything, but they have picnic charcuterie boards. So they're like a cutting board that has legs that fold out that when you go on the picnic, it makes a little table. It's such a great idea for a picnic.
Now, where did you get that from?
On Amazon. Where do you get everything?
Oh, you have to send me a link for that.
It's even got a place to put your glass to hold it, but it's like a little tray that you put whatever you're having for your picnic on the tray. It's fabulous for going on picnics, and picnics, you're right, are just so romantic and wonderful to share with your partner.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And that sounds so lovely. I love me a picnic. I love me a picnic. So for my listeners, I know you have your own creative ideas too. So if you have any favorite easy date ideas, I want you to share it on social media using the hashtag CookingUpConnection. I can't wait to see what all of y'all come up with. As well as we are wrapping up our show right now, Krista, is there any last words that you want to leave with our audience? Where can they find you at? If you have any, where can they find you at? If they want your coaching in cooking, where can they find you at?
Well, I always tell people the very best place to find me is just on my Facebook profile. It's Krista Melanson, KristaMelanson, because then people can have a look at me. It's not a salesy profile. It's just my personal profile. And you can take a look at me and see what I'm about and see if I seem to be somebody you'd be interested in getting to know or talk to a little bit more. So it's sort of a non-threatening way for people to take a peek. I will tell you, I hopefully have this link right. Actually, you know what? I'll double check. I have a link that's perfect for you guys. It's just a date night ebook. Okay. And it's about setting the mood for a romantic dinner, and that it has a first, second, and dessert course recipes and how to do them. And it's just kind of a fun way. So the web app, do you want me to say it out loud?
Yeah, you can. You can say it out loud. Please do.
Okay. So it's Krista, KristaMarie.com/ all one word date night ebook. Okay, and if you plug that in, then you will get 3 recipes, actually 4, because I gave a choice for the first course. And it's a great way to spend an evening and have a date night, and you can either do it together or you can prepare it as a surprise for your partner or whatever. But it's just sort of step-by-step instructions to create a romantic evening.
Oh, that's beautiful. And, actually, I'm gonna do a blog on this episode right here too. So I would definitely put that within the blog as well as writing on this interview. But we do have one last question from Jamar.
We sure do. He said, last question. How should the conversation start? Say, I'm used to warming up with casual questions. Should I change up with an open-ended question?
Well, I think in the beginning, really sort of casual conversation is fine, but some open-ended questions are always nice because, when you ask a question like that, it really shows your partner that you're interested and you want to hear the answer, right? So the question is important, but the way you respond to their answer is also important, right? So if you say, what was your favorite meal growing up? And they say, well, I really like spaghetti and meatballs. Then you wouldn't just go, oh, great, and move on to something else. You say, well, then who did you like? Was it your mother who made the spaghetti and meatballs, or did your grandparents, or, whatever? Ask questions that express an interest in them, listen to what they say, and then sort of ask more questions based on that. And it's the showing of interest to your partner that really is sexy and makes them feel, like we said earlier, wanted, appreciated, desired when you take an interest in who they are and what they are.
Beautiful. Okay, you said you had a question.
I got a quick question, and it kind of kicks off Jamar as well. Is how soon in the relationship can you do this cooking thing? I mean, I think he was like, if you just meet somebody, how soon? Because we talked about partners and people in a longer relationship. Well, I understand that, but how soon should you try to introduce that?
Well, nowadays, and I've actually talked about this specific thing before. Nowadays, when you meet somebody, whether you're meeting them online or whatever, you're hesitant to invite them to your house or you go to their house because people want a little bit of safety, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have a few dates before you feel comfortable being in the other person's house. But as soon as you've reached that point where, you will go to their house or they will come to your house, cooking is great right from the get-go. And if you have a relationship that's important to you, you want to keep this passion burning from day one right through to the end of time till you're that little old lady and old man on the bench holding hands, right?
Right.
You want it to stay valid and vital for that whole time. So it's never too early to start cooking together and start using all of the tools that you can get from cooking together.
Right. All right. So Dog Pound Mike might put up a question up here. Why is it block me on StreamYard? All right. So beautiful loved one is up here right now. So if you are Walter right here, you kept popping in on us and we couldn't, you couldn't hear us. So it was bad with our show. So you have to come in on another day, on another topic, it just wasn't working. It was a bad connection over here. And instead of you just allowing it just to go, you kept popping in. And so my producer, he just banned it and blocked it. Nothing personal. We just had to make sure that we kept the show rolling, just show going. All right. So we have another person here, Rockhart.
Yes, we do.
Hey, Rockhart, how you doing?
Hey, Rockhart.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, you hear me? Cool. What's happening? How y'all doing today?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, one day at a time. I love this topic. Easiest way to a man heart is through his belly. Definitely. That's an amazing topic, though. But I had a question for y'all. Like, I was thinking about this question actually yesterday. If you could pick a song that could represent your love language, what would that be?
You know what, Rock?
Like, what would be the perfect song to play while y'all on that date night when you cook for your partner for the first time?
Ooh,
for me, I'm gonna jump in and say Havana because I think that song is so sexy.
Ooh. Oh. Ah, I'm thinking I'm not gonna lie, the very first song that came up my mind is by Changing Faces, Stroke You Up, Stroke Me Down. That was the very when you said it, that came and I was like, no, do I want to do that? But yeah, I guess so.
It's on topic. It's great.
Yeah. What about you? Since you asked this question, what about you? What's the song for you?
No.
Okay, now you breaking up. We can't even hear your answer.
Oh, you can hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Now we can hear you now. So what's your answer?
Actually, Doja Cat at Agora Hills is one of my songs. That's the first song I thought of.
Really?
Wow.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, Rock Hard got not kicked off, but I guess we're having a bad connection. And I want to ask if are those people on the East Coast or in Southeast, and we know what's going on down in that way. So we may
in
have
Florida, the storms.
Yeah. I'm glad that you did say that because I know we have a lot of our listeners that's here from Florida on the East Coast, New York, and all of that. Yeah, we just hope that you all are being safe out there. I know that it's rough, it's going rough in the weather out there. So again, our prayers go out to you all just to have a safe day, weekend, night that you get through this hurricane because Helena is not playing. She is not playing at all. She is not playing at all. But we want to bring Rock Hard back on, or we're gonna see one back on before we let you go, okay? All right, that's better. You back on?
Hello.
You good?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. You can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Over here, but okay. I was trying to say, Doja Cat at Agora Hills, like I don't know what it is about that second verse, but it's like she was saying line after line. It's like I can relate to that. Like, it felt like she was talking to me low key, and that's what made me think about that.
Wow.
Question.
So what's the words? What are the words? What are the words?
Like,
what are the words that I guess kind of turn you on because it's tingling something. It's giving you a sensation somewhere somehow. So what are those words?
It's like, it's just the whole second verse. It's like, love is pain, but I need that ish. We F too good when the ping kicks in. Like for a night, I'm gonna need your skin. And she said something else. She was like, be my security is your therapy. You ain't holding shit back. When I need my space, you give that. When he broke my heart, you fixed that with a long walk on the beach. Like stuff, it's like just line after line. It's like for me, like that's what I do. Like when I'm going through some things, like I walk the beach. So it's like for her to say that, like wow, like love is pain. Like yes, it is, but you need it though. You need love, no matter how painful it is. And on top of that too, I don't know if it's because I went to California for the first time last year, but going to Cali and seeing like how big their beaches is, it's like whoa, like a long walk on the beach. Like I could get used to that. So. I would say for now, thinking about it, Agora Hill, that'll be one of my songs that represent my love language. And that's something
That's nice. Just even when you just would express the words, you can tell even when you saying the words that you were feeling it. I mean, like truly,
It's like even the hook too. It's like I want to show you off. It's like you should want to show your woman off. Yeah, I want to show you off. That's real. Like that means I want to brag about it. I want to tie the knot. Like that, isn't that the goal? Like you want to brag about your other partner, you want to show her off, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. You right there. Truly, for both the couples, is that when you are not ashamed, when you're able to be bold in your relationship with each other, that's the most amazing thing. That is the most amazing thing. Yeah.
And with me, like I'm a type of person where I'm very like low key with mine. Like growing up, like showing off was a no-no. Like that was one of the worst things you could do is show off. So if you could get me to show you off, like that's how you know I like you. That's how you know I'm feeling you. I could show it off to the world. It's like, yo, look, I'm on a date with my woman. Like, and then on top of that too, like I don't cook for people because people like to complain. So it's like if I'm cooking for you, just know like that's real.
Like,
now, for you to make them like it.
Right. For you to make a first date, I mean, for you to cook for someone, do you try to say, well, I'm going to cook you my favorite dish or what I'm good at? Or would you ask whoever you're cooking for, well, what's your favorite dish?
Both.
Rock? Both?
My favorite dish
Mm-hmm.
in general?
Well, no. Okay. So I want to make sure that you heard my question. For you, when you are cooking for someone, when you decide to cook for someone, are you cooking for them, meaning that are you asking them, well, what's your favorite meal? So you can try to cook it, or are you showing what you like, your favorite dish, and showing her that?
Both, but 9 times out of 10, the first time I'm probably gonna cook my meal because I know how to cook it. So it's like I know 9 times out of 10 it's gonna go right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably gonna cook what I like, and then eventually, like, we'll get into, okay, what do you like, and then I'll work on cooking what she like as well. So that's why I say both.
Okay.
That's
so
a
maybe you can
smart
go to chef.
strategy.
Yeah, that is. But
What
go
happened?
to chef.
What she say? I didn't hear what she said. She
It's
broke
a
up a little.
smart strategy because everybody has their own interpretation of a dish, right? So if she says, she likes a spaghetti carbonara, the way you make it may be completely different from the way she makes it. So you're much better off making something you're passionate about, and then it's like you're sharing a part of you as well.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like you just said, yeah, part is me too. It's like that's my chance to show like I'm in this with you, because a lot of people, they think like a woman places in the kitchen. And I believe that to a very small extent, because in a way, I do think women cook a little better than men, but at the same time, though, women might not be available to cook for the family. Like, for instance, like, let's say your woman's sick and you got kids. It's like, what you gonna do? You just gonna order out the whole time she's sick? Nah, you gotta step up and cook too. It's like, let's say like she at work or something. Like, let's say she a hustler like me. It's like there's times I might have to cook too.
Right.
So it's like that's a way. It's a way to show her like, like you're not just going to be doing all the cooking. It's like I can step up and do certain things too as well. That's quote unquote womanly.
Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right,
Dog
Rock. It's always good, baby. It's all because we gotta let you go because we got another person that's coming up. But it's always, you be trying to get our time.
Nah, always peace and blessings. Y'all be good. Appreciate y'all.
All right,
always.
you too. Thank you, Rock. All right, my beautiful people. Again, we're gonna take one more call. Are you good with one more call, Chef Krista?
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
All right, beautiful.
There we go.
Hi, Jamar. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
All right, all right. So you have a question?
Yes. So the question is more in lies. I heard everything the chef said, and thank you for responding to my question. But the one that stood out, I asked about the open-ended, is because I'm transitioning from a friendship into a relationship. The friendship with the person I've known for nearly 40 years. I grew up with them, and we have a lot of history. So creating that atmosphere, I just didn't want to feel uncomfortable for myself in presenting, a cooking date night with her. So I just wanted to know, how important is it to, once you engage in it, to keep it going? You said frequently, but how frequently? You didn't give me or the audience a time, like it should be once a month, once every 6 weeks. How often should we keep it consistent?
I think that if you're talking about a date night in whatever form, in a new relationship, you want to do it once a week. Once you've been together for, a year or more, it might only be once a month. But really, the more you have the date night, the more you set aside that time to focus on one another, the better it is. So if you can do it once a week from now until eternity, that's the best answer. The more you can do it, and don't force the intimacy. Don't ask questions that are super, super personal until you know them really well. But you want to ask specific questions to them. Do you know what I mean? Like the difference. You don't want to say, what was your most heartbreaking moment in your life? Because maybe they're not ready to answer that right away. Right. So ask questions that are specific, that show an interest to them, but don't make them too personal until you know them a little bit better. But in terms of frequency, if you can commit to maintain one date night a week, absolutely go ahead and do that. I think that's the best way to start a relationship and carry it on forever.
Thank you. I appreciate the response. I actually for Naomi, I sent you an email. Did you receive the email that I sent asking you the question about my transition from the friendship into the relationship?
Me?
No, I'm
No,
talking to
me.
Naomi.
No, me.
Okay.
Yes, I did see it. No, I have not answered it as of yet. Because I have, when I say this, baby, I promise you, I have so many emails.
I understand.
I
I
have
just want
so
to know, make sure that you at least
Yeah,
get a chance to
yeah, I
read.
did. Even when you were saying it, I was like, oh wait, he emailed me. So I do remember your story, and I know you said that you all have been friends for quite a long time.
That's beautiful, though.
Yeah, quite a long time with that. But yeah, you're not getting ready to force me to answer this question right now.
No, I just want. I don't need you to answer it on here. I just want to make sure that you at least saw it. That's all I was.
Yes, I
concerned.
did. I saw it. Yeah, yeah, I saw it. It kind of go into order because I'm when I say this, it's so many letters there, and I try not to be go into order. It's just whatever I'm feeling right now, especially when I'm doing this, because I want to, because I'm gonna read it on live here. And so I want to make sure that there is a learning curve as well with the letter as well, giving you your advice, but also how can I make it a show idea to where there is a learning curve for it, for other ones that can resonate with your story, which I know that it is. I just haven't gotten to there yet because I have other topics that's going right now in other letters.
I'm appreciative of you and Mike when I come through and you guys, allow me to connect and we go back and forth with the question. So I'm not concerned. I'm just glad that at least you had an opportunity to read it first and you've already told me what's going on. So I can be patient. No problem.
But thank you, honestly, thank you, because this is work that you're doing not only on yourself, but also committed to a relationship, whatever that relationship is, that you all are coming in here every Thursday to find out from, not only just me, but also from our guests and specialists that comes in to better your relationships. So that's a big ups to you and Rock Hard and anybody else, Joseph and anybody else that come in here, comment or whatever, because that shows that, okay, I want something better in my relationship. I want something better for me. So again, kudos for you. And thank you for trusting us in this journey. Truly, truly. Yeah.
I like I said last time I came through, I am forever in debt to you for letting me share my story back then, and for us to have a open communication as far as me being a guest. That it's a back and forth. You give me good sound advice, and like when he jumps in, he gives good sound advice, and I take note of it. I write it down after I play it back. I make mental notes, and then I exhibit it out when I engage with my friend that we're transitioning to a relationship. It's been nearly 40 years. I can't believe it myself, but I'll share that when you're ready for it to have that topic.
Yeah, you got time. We got some time. I read it. I read it. Yeah, we got some time. So now I can put a face to the name. Like I remember you.
And Chef, once again, thank you. I will take in everything that you said. I will apply it once we have our first official date night.
That's wonderful. Good luck and congratulations. You'll do great. You're committed to learning and doing the best you can. That's a huge step.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend. All right, tomorrow.
You too.
Take care.
All right, my beautiful people. Oh, I want to thank you. This has been an amazing show, Dr. Krista. I mean, Chef Krista. Did I say Dr. Chef Krista? Because you was acting like a doctor today.
Thank you so much. What fun talking to you too. It's been fantastic, Naomi.
Yeah. Do you have any last words that you want to share with our listeners?
Yes. The one thing I always tell people is that at the end of the days, nobody ever looks back and says, I wish I'd had more meetings, or I wish I'd, made $10,000 more dollars. People always look back and say, I wish I'd had more time to spend with the people I love. So don't wait till it's too late. Do it now. Spend time, make that connection.
Yes, beautiful. Well, again, thank you, Chef Krista. This has been amazing. It's been so fun. And we're going to connect. We're going to connect.
Definitely. Thank you.
Again, we truly are. But again, thank you. And you have an amazing weekend. All right.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, my beautiful people. I hope that you all did enjoyed this episode. It's been amazing. It truly has. And for all of our callers that came in and called in, thank you again for just sharing this time and this moment with us. For Walter, I don't know if you're looking or listening right now. We do apologize, but as we said before, we're trying to keep it moving, along. And not to mess up the production of it. I don't know if we could unban you. But I hope that if you do get a chance to come back and hear, that you could come with grace and be respectful on it. And we have no problem with sitting and talking with you over a nice, respectful conversation. Ain't that right, Doc?
Yes, it is.
All right. And I know you guys have been looking at seeing the little commercial that I got about our now it's not 30, our 21-day challenge of the Balancing Act. That is for my podcast, The Season of Self-Love. That is our October series that we start on October 1st about the balancing act of life. We're right now finishing up Hurt to Hope 30-day challenge. That has been an amazing series over there at the Season of Self-Love. Been beautiful, great. And we start a new challenge on Tuesday. That's October 1st, the balancing act. Y'all know my birthday in October is Libra season. It is Libra season. Yes, it is. But again, if you are looking for any love, sex, relationship advice, you can always email me at asknaomi@gmail.com. And look, if you need it, like right now, I can't, can't do it. I'm just saying, I truly am. Yeah, I truly am. Dr. Mike, you got any last words?
No, just it was a great show. Got to go and cook something for my lady. I don't know if she like fried chicken and how sexy that is. Because my specialty is peanut butter and jelly. I know she'll want that. But it can get kind of sticky. So great show.
Oh my God. All right, beautiful people. Well, next month we have a jam-packed month. Mm-hmm. And when I say a jam-packed month, we're going to be turning and curving and bumping and grinding and voting. Yes. We're going to be doing all of that again. I thank you to my BDG crew. I see y'all all up in there. I see y'all, and I want to thank you for my Florida people. Y'all be safe out there, all right? Yes. To the rest of everybody that is watching live here, thank you again. Please leave a review, comments, whatever. Share it as well. And I thank you. As I always say, be good to one another and yourselves. And always keep it sexy. Have a good one.
Hey, it's the goddess Naomi Banks. And I hope you enjoyed that last episode of Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. And if you did, please like, subscribe, press that notification button, as well as comment. I'll see you next week. Keep it sexy.
Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationships, cultural differences, and so much more.